Welcome to Cinema Bites, your go-to for movie recaps in a flash. Big twists, epic moments, all in just minutes. When the movie started in the city of Maricon on a sleepless night, the police entered to find a dead girl, Connie, and arrested her. We go back to understand the story. Connie was an athlete who won 3 gold medals in the Olympics. Afterward, she retired from sports and stayed home with her husband, Hariki, who worked in the tax office. Their relationship wasn't going well, as they were still childless, and had spent a lot of money on treatments to have children. One treatment succeeded, but in the end, the pregnancy didn't continue. Her husband became unhappy with life because he had spent so much money on her and her hobbies. She wanted to collect coupons for deals, and to do so, she would buy a lot of items from the supermarket. This is what she was doing when she would return home with many goods, filling the house, saying she was buying things for deals. Her husband kept telling her, "You're not working, and I'm losing money." Eventually, her husband traveled, and she stayed home alone. Her neighbor, Jojo, who lived with her uncle, Jose, would visit her. Jojo shared the same hobby as Connie, collecting coupons for supermarket deals. Jojo also sold makeup products and had a YouTube channel where she sold her goods. One day, Connie went to the supermarket to shop again. She filled her cart with a lot of items, and when she went to pay, she used coupons that reduced her bill from $200 to $16. This made her very happy. She returned home and noticed a poster on the wall, which reminded her of the children she never had. She sat upset in her chair and ate cereal, but the taste was bad and the quantity was small. She took her computer and wrote an email to the company, complaining about the taste and small portion. The company replied, apologized, and sent her a coupon for a discounted product. She took the coupon and went back to the supermarket, happily showing it to Greg, the employee. Greg told her it's normal for companies to do this to maintain customer satisfaction. This gave her an idea. She began writing emails to different companies, complaining about their products even when there was no issue. As a result, she received many coupons and started shopping for free. When Jojo visited her and saw the huge number of coupons, she was shocked. Jojo suggested selling some of them. This sparked another idea, selling coupons for profit. Connie and Jojo brainstormed ways to obtain more coupons to sell. Connie decided to target companies directly, and they thought about going to the source where these coupons were made. They discovered that the manufacturing of these coupons was done in a factory in Mexico. Jojo was hesitant at first, but her debts convinced her to agree. Meanwhile, a supermarket investigator named Kim was monitoring coupon fraud. During his work, he caught an elderly woman using a counterfeit coupon. The employee asked Kim to forgive her since she was a loyal customer, but Kim refused and insisted on taking action. Kim became more determined to crack down on coupon fraud. Back to Connie and Jojo, they traveled to Mexico and stood in front of the factory, observing and planning. They discovered that 2 employees, Rosa and Alejandro, were involved in stealing coupons. Rosa was pregnant, and their expenses had increased, so they were looking for extra money. Connie proposed her idea to produce fake coupons in the factory, and she would sell them in the US. Alejandro was skeptical, but Rosa convinced him because she liked the idea. Alejandro agreed, but warned them about customs on the way back. Do not be afraid of them because these coupons are different. No one will know. They are legal. The plan is to take the boxes of purchasing vouchers that the company decided to throw away, and the person responsible for disposing of them will smuggle them instead and sell them to the Americans. Indeed, after the girls returned home, the first box arrived through the post. They placed a middleman on the internet and put them up for sale. Even Jojo started promoting them on her channel for people to buy from her. That's how the money started flowing in like rice, and the profits came quickly. Over time, companies began advertising on her channel for people to buy from her, and the money kept coming in like rice, with profits increasing rapidly. However, companies began to suffer losses. The investigator Kim found out about them. He was informed about the shirts purchased to manipulate the coupons. He investigated and discovered the name of a cardholder who had bought at a discount. He went to her and questioned her. She told him she bought the coupon from an online source. She saw its advertisement on a YouTube channel and mentioned the name of the person selling them. She said he should investigate further. She mentioned a phrase that says, "Saving earns you dollars." She told him they should visit the house now and check their bank accounts to confirm the money they have been earning, as they were making a lot of money while cutting corners. She suggested opening specific accounts to protect their earnings under a company name. At this point, they panicked and didn't know what to do. They came up with an idea and spoke to someone famous for their generosity, offering 130. They met with her, and the first thing she told them was to delete Jojo's incriminating videos from her channel immediately. They quickly erased them from the channel. The second thing she advised was to exploit a project that would serve as their front to operate as they wished. Third, she suggested creating cards and bank accounts in their names so they could continue operating discreetly. She also advised them to keep the money for 6 months to avoid issues, ensuring it would appear legitimate under their names. She asked for 10% of their profits in exchange for her advice and solutions. They didn't follow the advice she gave them. Investigator Kim escalated the case, and employees were questioned repeatedly. They were advised to create a new business front for Jojo's product sales to disguise their operations further. Indeed, the plan worked, and profits returned. The investigators didn't want to drop the case and kept reaching out to the FBI via emails to track their progress. After 6 months, they decided to withdraw the money and use it. They remembered Tina's advice and decided to withdraw the money to buy items they could resell and profit from again. Connie went to withdraw the money from the bank, claiming it was for their employees. Afterward, they took the money and bought cars, a plane, items, and weapons. Finally, they went to Las Las Vegas. They discussed over dinner what else they wanted to buy. JoJo said she wanted to buy her mother a house. Connie said she wanted to undergo surgery to have a child. When they returned to Kim, he received a call from John, who said he couldn't access certain data because of privacy regulations. However, he knew the data was sent via mail. He decided to investigate the postal service and met with Simon, the postal inspector, and shared all the case details. Simon suggested ordering from the site to track the process. Indeed, they placed an order, and when the package arrived, Simon noticed it was labeled Kansas, but the barcode numbers indicated Arizona. Simon decided to start an investigation in Arizona and asked for assistance to ensure thorough research. Meanwhile, Connie and JoJo visited her doctor for another surgery attempt. He told her this would be her last chance. At night, they met with Tina, who asked about their money. They told her they had withdrawn it and purchased many items they could resell. She told them they were being reckless because the money was under JoJo's company name. She advised them to sell everything they had bought and return the money to the bank. One day, Connie noticed many items left unused in the house, including an expensive vase. She suggested they use it for marketing instead of dealing with coupons that were of no real benefit. Back to Kim and Simon, who arrived in Arizona and began investigating a supermarket. They questioned employees about the excessive use of coupons and eventually found someone who described a woman and her famous phrase, "Saving earns you dollars." Kim recognized the phrase and confirmed they were on the right track. They followed up with the postal service and provided a description of Connie, but no one recognized her. Later, they brought up the topic of coupons, and one of the employees who had a crush on JoJo and frequently watched her videos recognized her. At the same time, Connie and JoJo were looking for a buyer for their items. While at a coffee shop, they spotted a man from a hunting club and asked for the club's address. They went there with the weapons they had purchased to sell them. The club leader initially refused to buy, but JoJo offered a significant discount, persuading him to purchase everything. And indeed, they liked the presentation and bought a full weapon from them. On the other hand, they labeled and entered Air, asking about the girl he admired, and wrote one of the coupons. But he denied it and refused to give them any information about JoJo. After they left him, he went to JoJo's house and wrote her a letter in her name, preparing her for it and placed it in the box of her house. Her mother, Josie, saw it and asked him from whom this letter came. He told her he didn't know, and he wasn't aware that Kimo and Simon were watching him. He took them directly to the house and said they even went to her house. She felt the need at night and entered the house. The next day, she woke up, quarreled with her mother, and handed her the letter, which was completely hidden. Afterwards, she went out, took her car, and left for work while Kimo and Simon followed her. As soon as they saw her, they knew that this was the one they were looking for based on the descriptions given by Craig. They decided to follow her too and found out where she lived. They gathered their investigation team and said they were looking into their real identity. At night, JoJo lost her appetite and said that the letter, which indicated the police had found out about her, meant she had to escape. She couldn't find a way to read it and escape until it was too late. The police reached her, arrested everyone, and detained them. The next day, it was all over the news and everyone heard about it. Air was shocked to see JoJo accused and that she would go to prison. Her mother told the police she would tell them everything from the beginning and that Connie's husband had started from scratch, offering to cooperate with the police. JoJo tried to deny it, but they showed her the video she had posted on YouTube and deleted, as they still found it on the PC along with confessions. Connie didn't face any issues because she knew everything and told them she wasn't aware that the punishment could reach up to 40 years in prison. Kim told her that if she took full responsibility alone, JoJo might be released on bail. Indeed, she took responsibility, and JoJo was released on bail, which Air paid for her. He met her with flowers as she came out, while Connie's husband Harry was in prison. He kept arguing and shouting at her as usual, and she told him, "It's better if you just divorce me." Kimo and Simon continued their investigation, aiming to reach Rosa and Alejandro, but they found out they had escaped. The girls were arrested. On the day of the trial, Connie brought a famous lawyer who argued in court that Connie and JoJo had found loopholes in the companies and used them just as companies exploit the law. The judge was convinced by his argument and sentenced JoJo to 10 days in prison, though she was initially facing 11 months. The trial concluded there. Simon asked the lawyer why the sentence was reduced. The lawyer explained that the companies had dropped the case to avoid damaging their reputation and image in the market. Simon told Kim he enjoyed working with him because he was a good man. This softened Kim and made him more kind to people. He returned home, packed his belongings, and divorced Connie, whose operation had succeeded. She became pregnant and spent her pregnancy in prison. As for JoJo, she found hidden documents that were stashed in Connie's baby's belongings, containing a lot of money. She used them to start a new life with Air and opened a company with them. Now they're just waiting for Connie to be released from prison so they can work together and start their lives anew. And here, our movie ends. We hope you enjoyed the summary. Don't forget to watch previous summaries and subscribe.